Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back for another video with the Terminator. Today, I want to talk about Manor Lords. Since Creative Assembly's announcement about Three Kingdoms, I've been thinking a lot about the future of Total War, and especially the future of historical Total War. And long story short, I'm not very hopeful. I don't have a lot of confidence in a Medieval 3 coming out anytime soon, which is why, for the next few weeks, I'm going to spotlight one game per week that I think will be good enough to play until we ever do get a Medieval 3. So this is my first spotlight video, guys. Manor Lords is an insanely cool looking game that hits all the historical strategy notes so well. Whether it's historical accuracy, gameplay mechanics, or modern visuals, everything looks really promising, which is why I wanted to start with this one. Manor Lords was first announced back in July 2020 and is being created by lone developer Slavic Magic out of Poland. It's meant to be out for early access very soon, with a full release aimed for next year sometime, so we are very close to getting our hands on this wonderful looking game. From the Steam page, we have info on what you'll need to run the game as well, including 30 gigabytes of space, ideally 16 gigabytes of RAM, an Intel 5 processor, and a decent GPU as well. 1070 GTX for NVIDIA users and RX 5700 for AMD users, which is actually not too bad given how fantastic the visuals of this game are. The core objective of Manor Lords is essentially to create a fully medieval environment from a bird's eye view of which you pretty much control every aspect. City management will include things like population happiness, sanitation, food supply, resource gathering, building, which apparently is fully flexible, as in you can pretty much build wherever you want, and loads more. This aspect of the game looks especially promising. I mean, the buildings look really well designed, even while they're being built. The other side of the game, of course, is medieval warfare. There will be other medieval towns around you, and you can obviously establish trade routes, diplomatic relations, but you'll also likely have towns that don't take kindly to your presence and would likely be aggressive if given the chance. So you'll have to prepare for battles of hundreds of people, and from the looks of things, this preparation side will be just as important as the battles themselves. From what soldiers use, like the weapons and the armor, to the training needed to prepare, or maybe even calling in allied towns for help and setting up defensive or offensive structures and positions. And then of course there are the battles, which look very similar to Total War. Structured formations, which you can manage, direct into different positions and flanks and attacking angles. The combat up close looks fantastic. Something I think Total War lacks, which mods always help with, is the up close and personal nature of battling, which this game nails. We've also had a look at what the map might look like, with other neighboring regions that I assume you'll be able to scout out for resources, or new towns to make friends with or attack depending on your playstyle. The game already has been compared to others like Banished, Anno, or Total War, and you can clearly see why. There isn't as much grand strategy involved, but the personality of this game, from management of your settlement and its people, or the diplomatic aspect of engaging other towns, certainly do give you feelings similar to these games. Something I want to make a point about is the historical accuracy Slavic Magic is aiming for with Manor Lords. He said there is no specific time frame for the game, but a lot of the assets he's building, the buildings, weapons, armor, and technology is being based on the 11th to 15th centuries, and he is specifically trying to make the game as realistic to that time period as possible. That in itself is incredible to me and very impressive. Total War always fails to really get the historical accuracy quite right. I mean, strategy games generally don't quite get the historical accuracy right. Mods like Divide and Impera or Ancient Empires always come to mind that correct that so well, and what those mods add to Rome 2 and Attila respectively is amazing. Historical accuracy makes a game more engaging. It lures you into the fold of what life might have been like back then, what you needed to worry about, how you would interact with the environment with other people or factions, as well as kind of like reenacting history or changing it if you like. So having that element to a game is really cool, and I really commend Slavic for trying to really make that happen. He said that he's focusing on the single player experience of the game first, so there will likely be a multiplayer online version of this later down the road of its development, but he's also confirmed a campaign mode as well, which will be part of the single player experience. which is awesome. I think if he's trying to make this historically accurate, there's no better way to highlight that aspect of the game other than a campaign. Everyone says narrative and story is king, and I agree with that for the most part, especially for strategy games. So knowing that this is a part of Manor Lords is really, really cool. A lot of strategy games don't really get this right. Story arcs are generally bland, repetitive, or not engaging enough. So if Manor Lords breaks this trend and gives us a really proper story experience set in this time, it will be brilliant. What excites me most about this game is the amazing possibilities that come with a story sandbox style strategy game that includes both city building and total war style battles. The dynamic gameplay I think will promise some really unique situations, like imagine being a lord who cares about religious favor. You could engage with the church, donate for rewards and divine protection, build monasteries which attract new populations, and perhaps even start a story arc about raiders who wish to steal the idols and riches that you keep in your grand cathedral. Or maybe in the early days of your village, you discover a large deposit of metals, iron and copper, and decide you could start a small metallurgy industry here, smelting the raw materials into fine metals that can be turned into great weapons of war or armor that you can trade or sell to other towns, suddenly booming into a trade hub and beginning a network of towns that trade fine goods and items of value to other towns and even kingdoms. The point is, Manor Lords has an insane amount of potential to be something we've never seen before in a strategy game, really. Proper real-time engagement with characters, story, even dynamic weather with seasons that last months, and how that affects resource production. Everything about this game makes me think it could be the beginning of a new generation of strategy games that molds different types of strategy aspects into one. I think maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here with the video and how excited I am, but if Slavic does end up working on a campaign element to the game, there's no reason to me why any of this isn't possible. A true medieval experience involves these kinds of things, and as a realistic strategy game, and from the looks of things, he's really working to make the experience as dynamic and engaging as possible. As always, time will tell, guys, and this video has been basically my thoughts about what this game could be, the potential it has. But hopefully in the next few months, we'll be able to get our hands on early access and have a real look at how the game plays, how it compares to what a possible Medieval 3 Total War would be in our minds, and the direction the developer Slavic Magic is taking it. So this has been my first spotlight in a series of 5 to 6 games, guys, that I'll be doing in the next couple of months. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. If you did, give the video a like and absolutely drop your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. What do you think about Manor Lords so far? Definitely subscribe to the channel for more strategy news, gameplay, and videos like this, especially if you'd like to see more spotlights in the future. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.